The Indiana Fever locker room is falling apart, and there's video evidence that will blow your mind. What you're about to see isn't just bad chemistry, it's deliberate sabotage happening right on the court. And before we dive into this shocking footage, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we're exposing what the mainstream media won't tell you about this WNBA drama. You know what's wild? The Indiana Fever brought in Natasha Howard with one job: help Caitlin Clark win a championship. Instead, she's doing everything in her power to destroy the team from within. And I'm not talking about simple basketball mistakes here. We're talking about a veteran player who's won 3 WNBA championships, deliberately freezing out the best point guard in the league. The same point guard who just won Rookie of the Year, made first-team All-WNBA, and led the entire league in assists. Yeah, that Caitlin Clark. But here's where it gets juicy. Remember when Natasha Howard went on Sue Bird's podcast and said those now infamous words? "This isn't Iowa. She doesn't need to do that anymore." Translation: Caitlin Clark needs to know her place. And then in the preseason, Howard had the audacity to tell reporters her goal was to be MVP on Caitlin Clark's team. The disrespect is unreal. Like, imagine joining the Lakers in their prime and telling everyone you're gunning for Magic Johnson's spot. That's the level of delusion we're dealing with here, folks. Let me paint you a picture of what's really happening here. Last Friday night against the Atlanta Dream, with the game on the line, Natasha Howard pulled the most disrespectful move I've ever seen in professional basketball. Final seconds of the third quarter, the Fever get a defensive stop, and who's sprinting up the court ready to push the pace? Caitlin Clark. But Howard, she decides she's the point guard now. She literally refuses to give Clark the ball on a fast break opportunity. And get this, she doesn't even know how to dribble properly. She gets away with a blatant travel, wastes the entire possession, and by the time she finally gives up the rock, Clark has to throw up a desperation shot with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. The fans went absolutely ballistic. One fan tweeted, "Did I just watch Natasha Howard look Caitlin off while walking the ball up court even though she doesn't know how to dribble?" I blame this on Stephanie White for allowing role players to think they can look off star players. Another fan was even more direct. Her disdain for CC cannot be more obvious. She's a bigger cancer to this team than DeWanna Bonner ever was. Oh, and speaking of DeWanna Bonner, remember her? The Fever literally just had to waive her because she was causing the same type of problems. She thought she deserved to start over younger players, got benched, became disgruntled, and boom, gone. They waived a 6-time All-Star because she couldn't accept her role. And now they've got the same situation brewing with Howard. It's like watching a rerun of a bad TV show. You already know how it ends, but somehow the characters are too dumb to see it coming. But wait, it gets worse. This isn't just about one play or one game. We've got multiple instances of Howard deliberately sabotaging possessions. There's footage of her looking off Clark on outlet passes when the whole arena can see Clark streaking up the court. There's video of her literally running into Clark's driving lane when any basketball player with half a brain knows you're supposed to space the floor. I mean, we're talking about basketball 101 here. Picture this play. Clark's coming off a screen, turning the corner, about to attack the rim. Where's Howard? Instead of staying in the corner to space the floor like she's been doing for 12 years in this league, she decides to cut right into Clark's path. They collide, the drive is ruined, and the possession ends in a turnover. You can't make this stuff up. My 12-year-old nephew knows better spacing than that, and he just learned what a pick and roll is last week. And here's what really grinds my gears. Natasha Howard is a 3-time champion. She's been in this league for over a decade. She was Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. This woman knows basketball. So when she's making these mistakes, trust me, they ain't mistakes. This is calculated. This is intentional. This is a veteran player who can't handle the fact that she joined someone else's team. But hold up, because the plot thickens. You want to know what's even crazier? Stephanie White, the head coach who's supposed to fix all these problems, is making things worse. This woman got fined by the league for complaining about officiating, which, okay, fine, coaches do that. But then she goes on this weird media tour talking about how Caitlin Clark needs to play off the ball more. Off the ball? The best passer in the league needs to play off the ball? Listen to this quote from White. "I think my biggest concern is, when we reintegrate her, how do we continue to keep our ball movement and just getting the ball going? Not just side to side, but baseline to baseline. Baseline to baseline? Lady, you have Caitlin freaking Clark. You give her the ball and get out of the way. This ain't rocket science." And it gets even more ridiculous. White actually started another point guard, Aari McDonald alongside Clark because she wanted 2 primary ball handlers on the floor. She literally said she doesn't want Clark playing under duress 94 feet. Duress? The girl thrives under pressure. That's like saying you don't want Michael Jordan taking the last shot because it might be stressful. What are we even doing here? You know what Clark herself said about this? Back in May, she straight up told the media, "I think we need to do a better job of getting me the ball in transition. Whether somebody is there or not, I think there's a fine balance of playing me off the ball and also getting the ball in my hands. That's when I'm the best, in transition." Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Even Clark is basically saying, "Hey coach, you're using me wrong." But here's where it gets absolutely insane. ESPN analyst Carolyn Peck, and get this, she used to coach Stephanie White at Purdue, goes on national television and says the Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. Without her. She actually said, "I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard." Ball dominant? That's like saying the Warriors are better without Steph Curry because he shoots too much. The Fever's offensive rating with Clark is 85. Without her, 80.2. That's literally worse. How is ESPN letting people say this stuff with a straight face? I've seen better basketball analysis from drunk fans at 3 a.m. on Twitter. The chemistry issues are so bad that even the front office is catching heat. Fever president Kelly Krauskopf made this tone-deaf comment, "We want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise." I mean, this is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have foundational players in Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, and we're going to add to that. Really? You're going to act like Caitlin Clark isn't the reason your arena is sold out every night? The disrespect from top to bottom in this organization is mind-blowing. And get this, Krauskopf was getting so much heat on social media that she literally deleted her Twitter account. Deleted it. That's when you know you messed up bad. When the team president is running from the fans, you've got serious problems. You want to know the real tea? Sources close to the team are saying Howard thought she was coming to Indiana to be part of a big three with Clark and Boston. She legitimately believes she's on their level. The delusion is real, folks. This is like if Dennis Rodman joined the Bulls and thought he was equal to Michael Jordan. Know your role. You're there to rebound, play defense, and stay out of the way. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, the playing style mismatch. Caitlin Clark wants to play fast, she wants to push the pace, get out in transition, and create highlight reel plays. That's her game. That's what made her a superstar at Iowa, and that's what the Fever need to do to maximize their potential. But Howard? She's 32 years old. She wants to play slow, methodical half-court basketball. She's averaging less than 22 minutes a game now, compared to the 32 she was getting in Dallas. The writing's on the wall, and it's written in big, bold letters. You don't fit. After their recent win against New York, Clark herself said it best. That's how the Fever are supposed to play basketball. Up-tempo, unselfish, working for your teammates. Notice those words? Up-tempo and unselfish. That's a direct shot at Howard's selfish, slow-it-down style. Clark might as well have said, "Natasha, this is my team, play my way or hit the highway." Here's what kills me. The Fever had such a promising season last year. They made the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Clark was electric, breaking records left and right. The future looked bright. Then they fire Christy Sides, bring in Stephanie White, and somehow think adding a player who wants to be the star is going to work? The math ain't mathing. It's like they took a perfect recipe and decided to add a whole jar of salt. Now the whole dish is ruined. And don't even get me started on Howard's offensive game. She's shooting 25% from 3 on less than 1 attempt per game. 25%. In today's WNBA, if you can't space the floor, you're a liability. She's clogging up the paint, ruining Clark's driving lanes, and contributing nothing from beyond the arc. It's painful to watch. My grandma could shoot better from 3, and she's been dead for 5 years. The really crazy part? The Fever actually traded away Nalissa Smith to make room for this disaster. Say what you want about Smith, but at least she knew her role. She wasn't out there trying to be the point guard or thinking she deserved MVP votes. The Fever literally downgraded their chemistry for what? A couple more wins in the regular season? Make it make sense. But wait, there's more drama. Remember that Connecticut Sun game where everything went crazy? Clark gets hit in the face, pushes back, and suddenly it's World War III on the court. Marina Mabrey comes flying in with a body check that would make a hockey player proud. Sophie Cunningham later gets ejected for basically clotheslining someone. And what does Stephanie White do? She goes on this epic rant about the officials. White literally said, "Everybody's getting better except the officials." She got fined for it. The coach is out here getting fined while her team is falling apart internally. It's like worrying about a leaky faucet while your house is on fire. Priorities, people! And then, oh man, this is rich. When Clark gets injured again, she's missed 10 games this season with various injuries, White has the nerve to act like it's no big deal. She's talking about easing Clark's burden and finding balance. Balance? The girl is your franchise. You don't ease Michael Jordan's burden, you build everything around him. You know what's even more infuriating? The way Stephanie White is handling this. She's supposed to be this player's coach who understands how to manage egos, but she's letting Howard run wild out there. Where's the accountability? Where's the leadership? If I'm the head coach and I see my role player freezing out my superstar, that role player is getting benched immediately. No questions asked. But White? She's too busy experimenting with weird lineups and talking about ball movement. The funniest part about all this? Howard said in an interview with SI, everybody knows she can shoot the heck out the ball. And she can pass. But just letting her know you don't have to do everything like you had to do in Iowa. You have great teammates and phenomenal players around you that can take that weight off your shoulders. Weight off her shoulders? Lady, she wants the weight. That's what makes her great. That's like telling a fish it doesn't need to swim so much. It's literally what they're built to do. But here's the thing. I don't think this is all Howard's fault. I think she was sold a bill of goods by White and the front office. They probably told her she'd be a focal point of the offense, that she'd get her touches, that this would be different from Dallas. They lied to her face, and now she's bitter about it. Still doesn't excuse the behavior, but it explains it. Look at what happened in the AP article about Howard joining the team. They're talking about her championship experience and veteran leadership. But what good is championship experience if you're actively sabotaging the team? That's like hiring a master chef who refuses to cook. The parallels to what happened with Bonner are scary. Bonner came in thinking she'd start, got relegated to the bench, became a cancer, and had to go. Howard came in thinking she'd be a star, is seeing her minutes decrease, and is now actively sabotaging the team. How many times does this organization need to learn the same lesson? It's like they're stuck in a time loop of bad decisions. And can we talk about the disrespect to Aaliyah Boston in all this? She's out here trying to develop chemistry with Clark, trying to build something special, and Howard's just blowing it all up. Boston deserves better than this drama. The young core of this team deserves better than this nonsense. They're trying to build a dynasty, and Howard's over here playing demolition derby. What really gets me is that Howard had the perfect opportunity here. Join a young, exciting team. Play with one of the most talented point guards in the league. Be a veteran mentor. Win another championship. Instead, she chose chaos. She chose to be selfish. She chose to put her ego above the team. It's like being offered a winning lottery ticket and choosing to light it on fire instead. The solution is simple. Howard's got to go. Trade her, waive her, I don't care how they do it, but get her out of that locker room before she does any more damage. This team has too much potential to let one player's ego derail everything. Clark is 22 years old and already one of the faces of the league. You don't mess with that. You build around that. You protect that at all costs. And for all the Natasha Howard defenders out there saying I'm being too harsh, where's the evidence that she's helping this team? Show me the chemistry, show me the assists to Clark. Show me the screens being set, the floor being spaced, the veteran leadership. You can't because it doesn't exist. She's a ghost out there except when she's actively getting in the way. You know what the saddest part is? The Fever actually had a plan. They signed Howard to a reasonable deal. They traded for Sophie Cunningham to add shooting. They were trying to build something special, but they forgot the most important rule in team building. Talent doesn't matter if the personalities don't mesh. And honey, these personalities are meshing about as well as oil and water in a blender. The Fever are at a crossroads right now. They can either admit their mistake, move on from Howard, and build the team the right way around Clark, or they can continue down this path of dysfunction and waste another year of Clark's prime. And trust me, if they don't fix this soon, Clark's going to start looking at other options. You think she's going to stick around for this drama? Think again. There's already whispers that Clark isn't happy with how she's being used. She's too professional to say it publicly, but you can see it in her body language. When your franchise player has to tell the media that the team needs to get her the ball more in transition, that's a problem. When she's basically coaching the team through press conferences, that's a crisis. This situation is a masterclass in how not to build a team. You don't bring in veterans who think they're still stars. You bring in veterans who understand their role, who want to contribute to winning, who can mentor the young players. Howard is none of those things. She's a me-first player on a team that needs we-first mentality. And let's be real for a second, the WNBA needs the Indiana Fever to succeed. They need Caitlin Clark to thrive. She's bringing new fans to the game, selling out arenas, driving TV ratings. And what does the Fever organization do? They surround her with drama and dysfunction. It's like they're actively trying to kill the golden goose. The evidence is overwhelming. The footage doesn't lie. Natasha Howard is deliberately undermining Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Whether it's out of jealousy, ego, or just plain stupidity, it doesn't matter. What matters is that it needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. I've been covering basketball for years, and I've never seen anything quite like this. A role player openly disrespecting a superstar, a coach who seems clueless about how to use her best player, a front office that's tone deaf to what the fans want. It's a perfect storm of incompetence, and Caitlin Clark is caught in the middle of it. So what's it going to be, Indiana? Are you going to protect your investment in Caitlin Clark, or are you going to let Natasha Howard continue her sabotage mission? The clock is ticking, and every game that passes with this toxic dynamic is another step backward for this franchise. Before I wrap this up, I need you to do me a favor. If you think Natasha Howard needs to go, drop a comment below. Let the Fever organization know that the fans see what's happening and we're not going to stand for it. And make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I'll be following this story closely. When Howard finally gets shown the door, you'll hear it here first. This is the biggest story in the WNBA right now, and the mainstream media is too scared to tell you the truth. They're worried about access, about relationships, about being politically correct. But not me. I'm going to keep exposing what's really happening until the Fever do the right thing. The ball's in your court, Indiana. You've got a generational talent in Caitlin Clark. You've got a chance to build something special. Don't let Natasha Howard's ego destroy it all. The fans are watching. The league is watching. And most importantly, Caitlin Clark is watching. Make the right choice before it's too late. Peace out, and remember, the truth always comes to light, even when they try to hide it in the shadows. Keep watching, keep supporting real basketball, and keep demanding better from these organizations. Our stars deserve better, our fans deserve better, and the game deserves better. This has been your source for the real story behind the Indiana Fever drama. Until next time,